now ask their doubts to Swamiji.
स्वामी जी, सवाल से पहले मैं अपना नमस्कार आपके चरणों में सादर करता हूँ, कृपया उसे स्वीकार कीजिए। स्वामी जी, my question is, as a student, I am always feeling the दिल मांगे मोर वाली feeling. How can I control this feeling?
Am I audible? So dil mange more, that is very good. Get more of what is right. You please sit down, go further and ask for more, but of the right things, not the wrong things. When you feel the elevating and energizing effect of something, then certainly go for more. But if you find that you get distracted by it, if your concentration gets staggered by it, then of course दिल बिल्कुल न मांगे ऐसा करो उसको, मोर छोड़ दो. Let दिल never ask for it. That will keep you healthy. Thank you, thank you. Anybody else?
Cured by meditation.
Please repeat your question.
Can a disease can be cured by meditation?
Yes, meditation. If they have psychophysical nature in them, if they are psychological problems manifesting on body, what is called psychosomatic conditions, then meditation does help to cure them. But if the diseases are only in the body, and because of the body it is impacting the mind, then meditation alone will not be able to cure it. It is better in that condition to seek the medication in addition to meditation. Both will be necessary in that case.
Swamiji, how to focus on some wanted topic?
How to focus on
Some wanted topic.
wanted topic. Yeah, that is.
I get distracted.
Yes, that is. I think you are speaking for everybody because this is a common problem. Please have a seat. It is a common problem. Everybody has this. It is not just your problem. That one gets distracted because there is no control on the mind. I alluded to that right in the beginning, that just as we have some control on body, we really lack control on mind. Like, you are, for example, sitting here to listen to the lecture. But then you could not focus on the lecture all the time, even though you wanted to. Not that you didn't want to focus, but you had no control. The mind would run away from your control. It would run away. And the only thing that can gradually help you to increase your concentration, your control and the focus is practice. Practice. Whenever the distractions come, you have to say no. A robust no has to be said there. It is like the dog, when somebody takes the dog for a walk, then the dog pulls the leash here, there, but especially if that dog sees other dogs barking, wants to go and mix with them, but then the owner of the dog holds the leash tight. So, similarly, when the mind wants to go here and there, you have to put it on leash. No, I will not let you go there. So now first thing is to develop a leash on the mind. Buy a leash. Like if you don't have a leash for the dog, then it will be difficult to control the dog. So you have to develop a leash that will be able to hold the mind so that you can control it. So this is how you have to make efforts also to stop these distractions. It may take some time, a long time to get success in it, but don't get disheartened. It takes certain difficult works take long time. Like completing your medical studies and becoming an MD. How many years do you take? 5 years? 6 years? How many years do you take to become an MD? Please let me know. Oh, this is probably not working. So, for so many years, you have to diligently work to become a doctor. So, to control the mind, also you have to work hard for a long time, and gradually you will be able to earn some success. And then more and more success will come in that, so that no distraction will be felt at all. Thank you.
What are your views on intercaste love and intercaste marriages?
Well, I didn't really come to speak on that. It's a social topic. It is the marriage is an institution to channel the attractions of say man, woman, or even the say gay relationships and whatever, It is to direct them properly so that they will not cause social disturbance, and also the progeny will become healthy, will get good impressions and so forth. And I have almost nothing to say against intercaste or interreligious marriages. I know many couples who, they husband and wife, they belong to different religions, not just different castes, but different religions. And then both of them are having a very good life. And I have seen also the opposite, the marrying within the same caste, and yet the marriage is full of lot of quarrels, suffering, and so forth. So therefore there is no such rule that only the marriage within a caste will be successful, intercaste marriage or interreligious marriage that will be unsuccessful. No, I am not of that opinion. It is, although this was not the topic that I came here to talk about, since this brave lady asked this question, I have given my thoughts in a nutshell on it. Any other question?
As a student who gets stressed about very small things in life, how would you suggest that we overcome examination stress, which a lot of us always face before exams?
That is also a question that was asked of me yesterday when a couple of students came to, meet with me and talk about today's program, students from your class. And then one thing is that the stress has its role also. To become stress-free is not going to be very helpful. You have to have some stress so that you will study. That is one reason for examinations, that at least that will make you study. Actually, it is putting things, in the reverse order. It is like the tail wagging the dog. Dog is supposed to wag the tail, but it is the tail wagging the dog. That actually what is the examination for? Just to test, just to see how much you have learned. Now, therefore you have to learn, and the examination is to test your learning. But if you study just for exam, it puts you under stress. And also, it defeats the purpose of exam basically. And do you cook rice sometimes? Now you just press one grain to see if it is cooked. That is the purpose of this is, it is like examination, just to see if the rice is cooked. And after that exam, that the rice is cooked, what do you do with the rice? Do you throw it away? You eat it, isn't it? It is for your consumption that the rice is. That is why you have cooked. You have not cooked just to examine. So, if you see this in right perspective, that I must learn, I must study, and exam is just to test how much knowledge I have learned, and then go to put that knowledge in your life. That will reduce the stress. But as I mentioned earlier, some stress is important. That will keep you propelled, going on ahead. Otherwise, you will not do anything. We are slaves, Let us accept that. We are free. We have this slavish mentality. Unless there is something that pushes us, we don't work. It is, exam. So we become slaves to exam and then study. It is, unless some pressure comes, we don't seem to work properly. So therefore, if we do not have this slavish mentality, then we won't come under stress. No stress is necessary. Like, I give you the examples of Swami Vivekananda. He would never come under the stress of examination. He was seen playing on the morning of the examination, and then why? Because he has already studied everything, doesn't need to come under stress. So it is like that. Thank you.
In proper way and proper time, and for how much time meditation is required for our body?
Well, it differs from person to person. Everybody is at a different, please take your seat there. It differs from person to person at what stage of psycho-spiritual evolution that person is on. Accordingly, the meditation is prescribed. And just as the medication is prescribed by a doctor, self-medication is not advisable. You need an expert to tell you what medicine is to be taken, and every person will get different medicine according to that patient's stage. So similarly, if you want to properly meditate, then you need to have what is called guru, A guru examines you like a doctor examines, a guru examines and then prescribes the right meditation for your situation. It is, I tell many times, just as for your regular journey, you have the GPS. Do you use GPS? So you use GPS for your journey. In spiritual life also you need a GPS. That is called Guru Positioning System, So it is that gives you the proper direction. Otherwise, if you can read some books on meditation and try to learn about it, and then you can decide how much meditation you need to do. Meditation is just learning concentration. So, for now, that is good enough. And then when you say, as I mentioned, I am not here to give you any religious discourse. So, but still I suggest that you go to a religious organization like Ramakrishna Math in Nagpur, and then try to, find out by discussing with the very capable monastics there. I may not be able to guide you because I will not be there for too long. Tomorrow I am leaving for another city. So, thank you.
Swamiji, as Lord Krishna has told to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita about Nishkam Karma Yoga, my question to you is that if we don't have desire to achieve something, how can we achieve that? Or you can say that it seems to be very difficult to implement this Nishkam Karma Yoga in our day-to-day life. How to go about it?
Well, very good question. Nishkam Karma Yoga is a very high state, and so we have to begin at our level. Sri Krishna tells Arjuna also, don't get attached to not working. It is, you have a desire and work towards that desire. Fulfill that desire. But see that that desire is a good desire. That is the first thing. Then, it is a kind of an evolution. Like you climb from on one step, then go to the next step, then go to the next step. Actually, Karma Yoga, as described in Bhagavad Gita, it is described from chapter 2 to almost chapter 6. So, there it is described that, well, if you are not capable of doing work without desires, then have good desire and work for that. Later on you will see, that, well, if you are not desirous of the results of the work, then you can work better. Because your results that you get does not depend on your desire but what you do. That gives you the results. It is, suppose everybody may want that, let me have a job that gives me 1 million rupees every month. That desire will not give you 1 million every month. It is the work that gives you. What you will notice as you move forward, that the desires create bondage and dissatisfaction. And then you will be able to see that well, do I want dissatisfaction? Do I need bondage? No. Then don't do it. You will still work, but without desires. You will learn to work without desires. But till then, you have good desire and properly work to achieve it. Thank you.
Hardware, mind is software,
Exactly.
and the soul which operates them. Sir, how do we detach ourselves from body and mind, detach ourselves from the thoughts, desires, pain, pleasures that come in our mind, and attach to the soul and have oneness with the soul?
Wow, it's a long question, but I will try to answer it. Very good question. That how to detach ourselves. Just as, are you not detached from your phone? You keep it away when you don't need it. Of course, these days it has become, people get so attached to it. When there is no need to look into the phone, they still keep on looking at it. One young man really told this to me, that how to stop looking at the phone every now and then. It is because it becomes an addiction, a habit. And like I was telling yesterday to some, that the habits die hard, Even HABIT, isn't it? Habit. If you remove H, still a bit remains. Even if you remove A, bit remains. Even if you remove B, it remains. So habits die hard, you see. So therefore one has to work against it to get detached so that you can control it. It is the one way that has been described by great sages, described in Bhagavad Gita as well as by Patanjali's yoga aphorisms, and that is give it an opposite turn. Like when you buy, say, a metal sheet to put on some, fix it on some wall or somewhere, then it comes in a roll. And then when you open it up, still it gets rolled again. And the process of straightening is to roll it in the opposite way. And then tie it like that. And then after a few hours or maybe a day, you open it and now it becomes straight. So therefore, one has to do something opposite so that you gradually learn detachment from body and mind, and thus you become capable of using them. That every instrument that you want to make use of, you should be detached from it, you should be separate from it so that you can properly use it. So, when you know this, you will be able to put it in practice, that I am not that instrument. I am its user. So then you have the freedom to actually properly use it. So that is the only way, I suppose, that you can get detached. Another way that is rather funny, but that is how it is, that when you know that it is impermanent, then you get detached from it. Although intellectually one knows that it is impermanent, somehow we still have the feeling that it is permanent. Body and mind, they are changing, they are impermanent, but we really do not realize it, experience it. Whatever we experience as impermanent, we do not get attached to it. Like I was coming in the train yesterday and I was given a seat number. I still remember 41 in M1 bogie. So I said, this is my seat. But I know that it is only for 2 hours it is my seat. So I had no problem in leaving it. I was not attached to that seat. I was not crying when I had to leave it. Because I knew that it is temporary. When you consider that body and mind as permanent, it will be difficult to get detached from it. So know that it is impermanent. Thank you very much.
Swamiji, how to keep the fire of Vairagya burning inside us against the Vishayas throughout the life?
Oh my goodness, you can sit down, You have been standing for too long a time as if somebody has given punishment to you. Please. What is Vairagya, It is something that is hurting you and so you don't want to have it. So, Vairagya is based on Viveka. That is the capability to discern, and then that Vairagya in English would be translated as a dispassion. So, when you see that something is hurting you, then that will bring Vairagya. If you are say sitting in front of your food plate and you are about to put a morsel in your mouth and somebody says, hey, there is poison mixed in it, then what will you do? Okay, will that be your action? You will get up immediately. You will get Vairagya about that food. So similarly, know that it is causing problems in your happiness. Vairagya is the source of happiness. It is, some people, because not having a proper understanding of this word Vairagya, think that Vairagya means one will become very sad. No. So if you want happiness, then Vairagya. So whatever, you see, it is not at all something impracticable. It is, if you practice Viveka and Vairagya, you will become happy, I can guarantee you. Let me narrate a small incident. One day I had gone to Jabalpur to give a retreat, conduct a retreat there, and then after that I was returning in a bus from Jabalpur back to Nagpur. And by my side was sitting a businessman. He was, I think there was one polyester company here, and he was some these things connected with that, and then he told me about him, and he saw by looking at my attire, you are a Swami, yes, as a monk, and then he said to me that don't you think that by becoming a Swami you have missed so many avenues of happiness in your life? Then I asked him, looking at me, do you think that I have missed out on many such avenues? And that man, his eyes filled with tears. He said, I have rarely seen a happier face. So, Vairagya brings that sense of happiness. And since we all want happiness, then we will do whatever brings happiness. So, if Vairagya brings happiness, what will you do? Answer is, it is no brainer, You will practice Vairagya. Thank you.
Body, mind, they are not permanent, but soul is permanent, you mean to say.
Yeah.
So whenever the soul is departed from the body, so whether that soul is go away or still remains near the body, one. Because if it is a driving force, and when soul is out of the body, this means that we call it dead. But in organ donation, we take the organs from that body and transfer to the another body. So what happened whether that soul accepts this organ?
Well, it is soul neither accept nor reject. It is, let me give you again a computer analogy. When suppose some chip in the computer becomes defunct and you take it from another computer and put it back in the slot where the defunct chip was. So it starts working. See, the soul is not body or mind. So when the body dies, the soul carries this mind and gets another body. But that is not really the soul that I was referring to. If removed from body and mind, it is one without second. It is not my or yours. It is all pervading. It is only like the electricity. Electricity here is not different from the electricity in that bulb. It is the same electricity that is powering this sound instrument. It is the same electricity that is making this room cooler by operating air conditioner. The same electricity will do the opposite work of heating when it is connected to a heater. So when that instrument is plugged out, the electricity doesn't get affected by that. So that is what happens. The body is separate from mind, like the hardware is separate from the software, and the user is separate from both of these, and you cannot therefore measure the user by these instruments of body and mind. All the measurement that we have available is contained in body and mind.
So Swamiji means you believe in this rebirth?
Of course, rebirth is just like, you know what, it is, rebirth is not question of believing. Do you believe yesterday? Do you believe tomorrow? Do you believe today? Similarly, it is like that. It is matter of experience.
So whether it is possible that whatever you are saying, that chip, that mind, whatever the thing it carries with that software is carries with that soul. If suppose the rebirth is there, whether they are saying the thing or remaining some part in that, and they are claiming that it is the rebirth of this person, in some village or something.
Well, that is certainly there. But that is not necessary because most of the memory is blocked so that it doesn't cause problems. Even with the memories of this life, our brain gets heated up, blocked too much. Imagine the memory of 10 births are put into you. So therefore, this is a natural process to lock some of the memories. Like when somebody, you start fasting, some of the organs, to protect the vital organs, the brain locks some of the organs. So it is something like that, that the rebirth is, that it is not a matter of belief, it is the only explanation for the variety. It is the only explanation by which you can understand that how so many people from birth have the tendencies and the expertise that the ordinary children won't have, and that they did not get it genetically because their parents or grandparents or their 14 generations didn't have it. Two twins, two identical twins, look exactly same, but the mental tendencies are so vastly different. So, it is all due to what is called rebirth. Thank you. It's a long subject. I don't want to continue this. It will be another lecture. Sometimes next time, if you want, I can give a lecture on rebirth. Okay.
Stop overthinking.
How to stop overthinking?
You can never overthink. You can over-cogitate. It is, if thinking is there, it will never be overthinking. But what gets wrongly called as thinking is really worrying and cogitating. What happens is, it is the logic as such always is cyclic. It runs in a cycle. So therefore, you keep on thinking of the same thing again and again. So it is not thinking now. You reach a conclusion and stop thinking there. So otherwise it is not overthinking, it is unnecessary cogitating. So don't get involved in endless cogitating, but think. There is a very nice book, old-time book by Dale Carnegie, How to Stop Worrying and Start Thinking. So, think, and then after you come to a conclusion, stop thinking. Thank you very much.
Students can write their doubts on a piece of paper and we will convey these doubts to Swami. Thank you, Swamiji, for your kind guidance. I think we all will remember these valuable words and will try to imbibe these throughout our future life. Now I request Smith Nemade to give vote of thanks.
It was a new way of thinking at healthcare rather than the broader and holistic way of healthcare. This new approach will be always at the back of minds of our future generation doctors. For this wonderful lecture and as a gesture of blessing, I thank Shri Swami Yogatmananda Maharaj. He has come all the way from the United States and accepted our invitation. We all are grateful to the spirit of developing the attitude of service. I wholeheartedly thank Shri Swami Yogatmananda Maharaj for accompanying Swamiji and guiding our students. I express my thanks to our respected Dean Sir, Dr. Sanjay Vijay Sir, who has inspired, allowed and helped us organize this wonderful program. Thank you, sir. I, from the behalf of students of SAIGGMC, thank Dr. Bokde Sir, Vice Dean of IGGMC Nagpur, for gracing this occasion by his presence. Thank you, sir. I express my thanks to respected Munjay Ma'am, MS IGGMC, for her graceful presence and motivation. Special thanks from SAIGGMC to all the respected head of departments who came here to motivate us in spite of their responsibilities. Thank you, HODs. I express our gratitude to all our dear teachers, faculty members of various departments who came here to elevate our spirits. I express our thanks to Tada Sir, President of SAIGGMC, for his inspiration and help. On this occasion, I will thank Dr. Gule Ma'am for making this wonderful event possible. We thank all the students of MARD and also our senior colleagues for their presence. We thank all our dear students who have come here to make this event successful. Lastly, I would like to say something which is out of the script, but I feel every youth of the country should listen to this. You are born in a great culture. Preserve it before it gets dissolved. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram, Krishna Mande Jagadguru.
Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh
अचल यमुना उच्छल चलति तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय